I'm not going to try to change anybody to say, if you believe that Jesus is Lord and that's the only way to heaven, I'm not going to disabuse you of that notion. I don't agree, but I see no need to fight or argue or do anything else because I'm not going to change your beliefs.
Well, and I think with really big beliefs like these and those, it does really come back to, like, no logical argument has ever, like a logic proof has never made anyone religious. A logic proof has never made anyone find God. It's in the same way that a logic proof has never been the reason someone has lost their faith or deconstructed. It is one of those things that it's a long process either way, and it is so internal and personal that it's like, I think it's exactly what you're saying. Like, you can't, even if you had all of these examples, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it would make someone feel good to think that, like, oh yeah, I do believe this and these examples kind of support my belief and that's uplifting. Or maybe it just gives someone who doesn't believe more information to try and tear down, like, this is ridiculous, and I'm going to deconstruct all the different ways that this example actually wasn't whatever. But that's not the thing that's going to convince anyone. The thing that's going to convince anyone of anything is your relationship to it and your experience with it. And I think for the last little section here, I want to make sure we touch on, because this is such an intersection for you personally, Dennis, with this work and stepping into, like, your power, your authority, your sovereignty, that intersects so profoundly with empowering women. Why do those intersect for you, and how, like, with everything that we've been talking about, what's the exchange with divine feminine here?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't have a logical answer for you. I just know that it's the spiritual work I've been doing, the esoteric work, my work with Lilith. And again, I can't say I've ever seen Lilith with my eyes. I can't even say I've even felt anything or heard anything. I would love to. I'm open to that experience. I would love to experience that. I cannot say I have ever witnessed anything with my senses that I would say was supernatural. Okay, just above my senses. Now, I've witnessed events. I've witnessed things that have occurred. I've had feelings that felt supernatural, that were beyond the ordinary, but those were feelings. Like, I remember one time I was in 11th grade with my best friend. We were playing basketball at this, just a basketball court that was near his house. And all of a sudden I got this immense feeling of dread. I mean, like, I can't say I've ever felt that. I'm not sure that I've ever felt it before, and I don't know that I've ever felt it again. So I remember I was in 11th grade, and I was kind of ignoring it, because it's like, oh, this is stupid. And but finally, after about 10 minutes, I'm like, this, I asked my friend, and I'm like, and neither of us were very spiritual or anything else, really. I'm just like, dude, I feel weird. Like, do you feel weird? Like, it feels eerie to me right now. Do you feel that way? He's like, yes, oh my God. I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. He's like, yeah. And we left. No, nothing happened.
Yeah.
I have no evidence. I mean, what was that? What meaning do I make out of that?
Well, if you stayed, maybe something would have,
Exactly, but I can't prove it. But
right.
So those are I have had a few experiences like that. Now, some people see things, some people hear things, like, and I don't personally. But for my all I know is I started doing these workings with a completely, like, open heart of, make me better, like, bring, and sort of destiny magic, things like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I got into this, I went back to school for no particular, like, I didn't have some grand vision, it just felt right to do, like, it just clicked. The classes I take, I manifested, I think, it's my story and I'm sticking to it, getting into the internal family systems training a year and a half ago. Like, that was so hard to get into, people still can't get into it, and yet I did. Because I said I was going to. And now, again, can I prove that I changed anything? No, because I can't run an A/B experiment on it.
Right.
So to answer, there's a long-winded way of saying, I don't know how I got here. I just know that this is where I was supposed to be. And I love that about it. I have no idea why I'm called to this. I have no idea. I know I'm effective because I've literally watched people I've worked with manifest crazy shit in their lives. Like, literally. I've seen the changes in the people I've worked with. And so I know I have something. I don't know what it is. I mean, half the time I have to ask, like, every time I have a session, I ask, like, okay, what did, not every time, but often I do, what do you take away from today? Like, what was valuable for you today? Because I ask that not because I'm looking for my own, tell me how great I am. I do that because honestly, I don't know a lot of times. And that to me is the poetic beauty of it. That I can be so I am, my godness and your godness and our everybody's godness. Because I don't put me above anyone else. I don't put me above you.
Right.
I see you wear your crown. I see and that's what's changed for me. When I walk around the streets, I see people wearing crowns. And I use that as when I get upset at somebody, or when I'm human, when I'm annoyed by somebody, when I don't like somebody, there's no call to like everybody. But I swear to you, what I do is when I have that, I look at them and I imagine them on a throne. I imagine them wearing a crown. Is how I see people. No, it doesn't necessarily make me like them. It doesn't make me want to go hang out with them. It doesn't make me want to spend time with them. It doesn't make me want to piss on them if they were on fire. But it does change how I see them. And it changes how I interact with them. For me personally, I don't know. This just is in my blood. Like, I love doing what I do. And it's interesting. I wrote a post about free will. I think that might even...
Oh yeah, we'll start putting your Substack in the video description too. For any listeners, Dennis has recently started publishing on a Substack, so definitely go check out his writings. Link down below wherever you're listening.
And readers, Reese and I will both be publishing on more on what we're doing here as well. So look forward to that too. Yeah, I mean, so for me, I do think they are related in terms of, okay, well, how does this idea of empowering women and well, when you come to the understanding of who you are, then that changes everything, because everything flows from that belief of who you are. And so it's a natural fit for me because I do genuinely believe that in some way I can't quantify, I am a part of God. I am God.
Yeah.
I am source. And you are source. And can I trample your free will, quote unquote? Well, if I don't believe there's free will in the first place, then I can't really trample your free will, because you're here.
What is
for
there
a
to
reason.
trample?
What is there to trample? Essentially, you're here because you're supposed to be here. You couldn't choose not to be here. You may think you could, and I may think I could, but can I? I don't know. I mean, I guess we could try, but then that was just implanted. So what's it free will now? But what I do know is to me, I love. And maybe it is Lilith's influence. I mean, again, just because I don't see her with my physical eyes or hear her with my physical ears doesn't mean that the spiritual man, my true self, isn't interacting with her and dancing. I have no idea. Like, absolutely. I can't see it. I can't, my human brain doesn't see it, but I still do it. I still believe it. And so maybe that influenced me.
Yeah. I will say this is such an interesting thing too, because I think self-doubt of it all, that's like, am I just seeing things, or that was in the corner of my eye, or, like that kind of piece, or it's like that creak was just the house settling kind of stuff, where it's easy to explain certain things away. But the more that you lean into just this kind of a wild abandon of I want to see magic and everything, and that means, some things are going to be a little freaky and scary, but also, beautiful and amazing. You do start to see more things and experience them with your senses, too, the more you allow them to be there, which is just so funny, because, the more that you're in it, it's a vicious cycle of increasing that, because you communicate to source, your wholest self, whatever, that you're open to it, and so it kind of opens the gateway a little bit. And again, can you prove that anything isn't just coincidence? Maybe not, but the fact that since I got a sign a few weeks ago that was a rainbow, and rainbows have never been a symbol for me. There are a few things that have almost always been symbols, and there's certain symbols that relate, like my grandma that passed. I have a symbol that I'm like, every time I see that, it's my grandma. The way a lot of people are like, butterfly is, my great aunt, or I have a friend who red lipstick is her mom to her, and anytime she sees a bright red lipstick, it's her mom. And it's that's a very normal thing. But rainbows were never really a thing for me, it's just not. I saw a rainbow a few weeks ago at a very serendipitous moment, and since then I've been seeing rainbows in everything. And it's like my glass of white wine, I just see the rainbow reflect off of it. I get home and there's a rainbow across my bed that I had never seen before in my room. A friend texts me a rainbow emoji, and they never use rainbow emojis. And so again, all coincidences, but even, why not? Yeah, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm sorry you don't have love and magic and poetry in your heart. Yes, I can find magic in the numbers on a microwave. I can. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's beautiful that I can find that beauty there and that you find it there too. And I do think there is something very divinely feminine about the receptivity of that, about being able to receive messages and symbols and open yourself to what the universe has to offer, to allow yourself to be held by these things. And you don't have to rush in with the aggressive, which not to say that command and authority and aggression aren't necessary in certain aspects of life, but you don't have to rush in with that masculine energy to immediately shut things down all the time. Sometimes you can just receive, and you don't even have to make sense of it. A lot of times, one of my favorite things to do when I see an angel number is just to, there it is, and then keep going, and then maybe think about it later. But it's like, not every single thing has to be it. This is the message. It's just a little, it's like if you're holding someone's hand and they just squeeze it a little bit, right? It's just I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Stay present. Stay present. And I don't even know why I started talking about this, but the magic, right?